Well, Mikel, all that noise, all those bullets, how about that for a response?
But that's football. I mean, when you watch the game back against Wolves, how the hell you drop 2 points there, nobody can explain it. I mean, but this is the beauty of it. And then looks like it's the end of the world. And you look at your players and the way they react and how much they want it. And I said it, I feel very, very privileged to work with them every single day. I knew we were going to react. In football, you can win, draw, or lose. But the attitude that we showed today, the desire, the dominance, it was really impressive. So I'm really happy.
How soon after the Wolves game did you know, yeah, the team are right, they will perform on Sunday?
Immediately after that, because I saw the reaction and what it means. And when it's a job, you don't react like this. When it's your passion and you love the game so much, that's something else. It hurts you in a different way. And I know what it means to them and how much they want it. And we said that I want to try all our very best.
You said after we were talking about the Wolves game, like how the hell did it finish level? Did you have a similar feeling at half-time today?
Yes.
How the hell is it 1-1?
I know, I don't understand. I don't know how many touches we had in the opponent's box and chances and situations, but we said at half-time, we carry on playing. When you talk about attitude, what Declan is on today, I mean, he can make an error. The way he played afterwards, that's attitude. That's to have personality and courage and to stand up in a difficult moment.
So what would you say, I don't know whether it's a day for sort of the tactical stuff or more the mental, emotional stuff, but what would you say was the key to that win?
The attitude. Again, how you approach things. I mean, and that's a decision that you have to make. You can feel sorry for yourself. You can look at, oh, but this is the stage. I mean, when we're all kids, we dream to play these kind of games. So when we have the possibility to do that, just do it in a manner that recognize the opportunity that we have to be where we are.
What was it like? I mean, we spoke before the game about them having a different manager. They tried to press you high. They tried to be intense. Did we actually see the dangers of trying to take you on? So many times this season you've faced the low block. You didn't today, and because of it, potentially, you created an awful lot more.
I don't know, but so that's why you have to respond in relation to the opponent's behavior, especially when you are attacking. And I think we understood really well how we have to play. And then players were individually really, really good. That's what you need. I mean, the level of efficiency at the end is dictated by how well they make decisions and how accurate they are with those decisions. And we have some outstanding performances today.
One of those, Victor Gyökeres, best performance for the club?
I think so. I think his overall play was incredible. The efficiency, the goals that he scored. It was really, really good today.
And before the match, you spoke about Eze, that there were certain things about this game that made you think he was the right fit for today. Can you elaborate on that now?
Well, one of them because the recent past against them, it was really positive, and that's there. And then I made some decisions and I changed them at half-time, and there are some moments, and you see how people react, and when they have a point to prove, I know that we are understanding what Ebbs needs to perform at the level that he can.
So 10 to go now, Mikel. Ready to strap yourself back into the roller coaster for what's ahead?
One at a time. It's going to be a long, long one, because on top of that we have all the cup games and Champions League, so it's going to be a long marathon for all of us, but let's enjoy it.
But do you feel like you answered a lot of questions today? Because that's the first question, a lot of noise, a lot of bullets. There was.
The questions are on the day. Today, yes, we've done it, and now we have to do it against Chelsea. And 3 days ago, yeah, we have to take them. I mean, when you have the expectations and you play for why you play in a football club that we play for, this is part of the job. And if you don't like it, go and do something else.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well done.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well done.
Well, as Mikel Arteta said, there is still a long way to go for Arsenal, not just in the Premier League, but on all four fronts. There are a lot of games left to go, but we are now officially at the stage of the season where we can get all the remaining fixtures on one page for both Arsenal and for Manchester City. 10 games left for Arsenal, 11 games left for Manchester City. They play each other, of course, in April, on April the 18th. That is going to be a crucial game, as we always thought it might be in terms of the title race. But this next game for Arsenal now, the game against Chelsea, that's the last game, bar the City one, that they have from a team that's inside the current top six at the moment. So it's always the next game that's the most important, obviously. But it feels like that could be a really significant one for them.
I think, yeah, look, they know where they stand. They know their job, what to do. I think what's really important, looking at those fixtures, they can win them all. They really can. But what's not in that fixture is the cup final. And that's the way I feel like we'll set where Arsenal are going to do this year, and they're going to determine what's going to happen. It's a big match, of course. But look, having City chasing...
And they could draw each other in the Champions League as well.
There you go. So look, it's a narrative starting to happen, isn't there? But look, I just feel they know the job. They know that Man City are going to be there. There's a different feel about, Man City this year, but there's also now a different feel about Arsenal because they've got certain players that haven't experienced what recent squads have experienced, but now they've just provided something different. The likes of Gyökeres and Eze today, they haven't been in this situation before. They kind of, it's their first day at the office, really, in some sense. So, look, I think they're excited to be in this race because at times they might not have been expected to be at this club. So, look, I think they're showing some great signs and they know they can be the difference. And I think that itself is just going to bring more energy in the whole squad. I really do.
If Arsenal win all of their remaining fixtures, as Theo says they're capable of doing, they will be champions come the end of the season. The same is also true for Manchester City.
Absolutely. So to a certain extent, it's in their hands. And as we all know, Pep is the bogeyman. He don't want him chasing.
But Arsenal get the draw in that fixture on April.
Kel, I mean, I looked at those fixtures. I've done it every year since I've been working on Sky. It's very hard to predict that anything can happen. I do agree with Theo.
Now we've got them all on one page. You're going to do that every week between now and the end of the season.
There's going to be so many twists and turns. I fancied Arsenal this year. I do feel it's their season. And City have really surprised me. And they've been fantastic. Even Nico O'Reilly yesterday with those important goals. And they had to suffer yesterday. It was a huge 3 points for them. And obviously that Arsenal have to go to City, and we've seen how difficult that can be in the past. So anything can still happen, but I'm still going to stick with Arsenal.
And at this stage of the season, with the Cup final a month today, when do we start talking about a potential quadruple for Arsenal?
I think we are now, aren't we? I think we are now. I think it's... Why would you not believe in that? You look at where they stand in the Cup final, top of the Champions League, of course, top of the Premier League. Why can't they? I feel... It's a great energy that it will provide into the squad, and I think it's great for the fans and the fans group to really believe that energy. It just helps the team. They really it can enhance it.
We said at the start of the show. You said it, Theo. What a position to be in, though. And this week they've been accused of being bottlers and not, having the character to handle it. I mean, they've got the character. They showed it today. They've come into a difficult environment after a tough week, and I thought they were absolutely fabulous.
Yes.
Action from one of Arsenal's double goal-scoring heroes. Big day for him as well. Victor Gyökeres is with Alex Alger.
Victor, congratulations. Massive win. Your first ever North London derby. How pleased can you be with the way it went?
Yeah, of course, very pleased. I think, we started really well. I think we created some good chances. Then maybe we did like we've done a few games where we conceded straight away after we took the lead, which of course didn't help. But the reaction was much better, and I think we just kept digging and then kept the belief in the team that we're gonna continue in the second half. And we certainly did, and I think we deserve to win.
Your first goal, really important to restore Arsenal's lead, and it was a brilliant goal. You must be delighted with that one.
Yeah, it was a nice goal. It was a good ball from JT. I think Ebbs left it, and then it was just to get a good setup and then strike it well. And I think it was a good strike.
And talk us through your second goal, also very good.
Yeah, it was nice also. It was good. Nice pass from Martin, and just need to hold the defender off and then put it in the net. And it was nice to finish it off like that.
You seem to be playing with so much confidence. 5 goals in your last 5 Premier League games. What is making the difference?
I think like today, I think I was involved a lot. I got a lot of balls. I think, maybe could have done better in certain situations, but that's football. You always can improve, but I think just to be involved and feel that you're in the game, I think it helps a lot. And then of course, when you get to know the players even better and know how they do in certain situations, I think it makes it easier. And I think it feels really good right now.
How confident are you that you're going to play a key role in Arsenal's charge for the Premier League title? Yeah,
I always try to come with my attribute that I can do on the pitch, and always do my best and help the team. And of course we have our goals and we want to achieve them together. So we just keep going like this.
Player of the match in your first North London derby. You got the trophy here. Where's that going at home?
Let's see, maybe the kitchen table or something like that, so I can see it every day.
Every day, brilliant. When you're eating. Thank you so much, Victor. Well done.
Alex, thank you very much indeed. He'll have a big kitchen table, though. Let's be honest. No, let's get serious, because we had a long chat actually right at the start of the day about Victor Gyökeres, his numbers, his movement, his hold-up play, how he was fitting into this Arsenal team. Best day in an Arsenal Premier League shirt?
I think so. I mean, as we said earlier, that's double figures for the season in terms of Premier League goals for him. But a lot of his goals have not really mattered. There have been 2 goals in a 5-0 victory. There have been 1 goal in a 3-0 victory. There's been a goal in another, I think, 2-0 victory. They've not really... Today, it mattered. Today, it really mattered. Now, is this guy good enough to lead the line for Arsenal in the years to come? Maybe. Not sure. I mean, his movement is very good and his finishing is exceptional. But outside of that, he's got a lot of improvement. His hold-up play is really, really poor. He gives the ball away an awful lot. But I love his work rate. He doesn't stop running. Even in the last few minutes, he was still good. And that finish there, I mean, his finish is good, but his first touch to set it up was fantastic. And as he says here, it was all about holding the defender off, using your strength, knowing where he is, keeping the ball on your right-hand side, and then a little bit of lift for the finish. His choice of finishes and his movement are exceptional. As I say, if he can improve some of the rest of his game, he could be in business.
Interesting. And what will those 2 goals and his all-round performance today in a game that matters so much do for his belief and confidence, Adi, as a goal scorer?
This a big moment, obviously, for a striker. If you are not scoring goals, I think the goal king is here. He will tell you about it. You'll be in doubt, and when you are going to game, you're panicking. When you see the goalkeeper, you don't know what to do. But today, scoring 2 goals when it matters the most, his belief would be like, I think, too much right now. And now, obviously, this is the time for him to go and talk to his midfielders and tell them, give me the ball now, I'm ready. And this is the time that we need a striker that can give or that can bring the league into the club, which is him, obviously. If they have to win the league, he have to score another at least 10 more goals to the end of the season to bring the league, because he's the main striker for the club. If he's scoring only 10, 12 goals, you can't win the league with a third striker scoring 12 goals. So he have to find a way, talk to his teammate, and be... The way he was today is unbelievable, but he have to keep going. He have to score more goals. He have to have more belief in his football. As he said, scoring goals, we all know his quality in front of the goal. But now he have to know how to link up play, chase the ball down, be calm. When he think the team need to come out, control the ball for your team and tell them to come forward. That's what we need, like a striker, to be able to win the league with Arsenal.
He's got 5 in 5 Premier League games now. Could he go on a run and help Arsenal go on a run at the same time?
Yeah, absolutely. And North London Derby is the biggest game for him. You ask them fans, them Arsenal fans there, they're going to love him now. They'll be singing his name all the way home. You know, he's won the hearts of them. You talked about Eze in the first game. I mean, he's done nothing since. And all of a sudden he turns up here and he scored another 2 goals. He can have another rest for another 3 or 4 weeks now, Eze. I mean, he's done his job. This is a massive game of football. And Gyökeres to score in this will give him a huge amount of confidence to move forward. I just think he can still develop. If he's willing to develop, he could develop. Because some of the things he needs to learn, he should have already learned by now. You know, he spends so much time, Addy and Michael, fighting with Dragazin, and it can, you know, how much energy does that take up? You know, sometimes you just got to use your body, just knock people and come away. He's wrestling with them all game. Credit to him, he keeps going. I mean, he'll have a fight with anyone, but I just think he can use his body better. And I think he uses so much energy up, having to wrestle with the defenders time and time again, where his movement could be cuter.
Yeah, I can't believe how average he is in terms of the link play. And as you say to him, I'm watching him, I think, you are a big, strong guy, but it's almost like he's not even thinking of trying to win just to try to make it difficult for the defender.
Yeah.
No, he's big enough to hold his position, as Addy said, chest the ball down, bring his team in. And if if he's the building blocks for that, he'll then get more chances because the team are actually, you know, attacking in the final third a lot more. But every time the ball comes, he just wants to fight and wrestle the defenders, and the ball just drops and they lose it every single time.
At some point, I was even surprised because I didn't even remember how the Premier League looked like, and seeing them fighting like they were not playing football. They were battling actually, and sometimes they even forget the ball, both of them, and they're going somewhere and going shoulder against shoulder. But when you're against a defender that wants to fight, you don't fight. You use your head, use your brain, and control the ball. Link up play, try to make a fake move instead of going inside, come outside, take the ball, and give it to. You have like the best midfielders in England. you have Bukayo Saka, you have Eze. Just okay. Today I'm playing against a defender. He likes to fight. I'm not going to fight. Let me go for the ball, find a way, find a space, 2-3 meters, I take the ball, I give it to her. Then I move into the space. But he was also ready to fight, and that makes life so difficult for both of them.
OK, that's very interesting indeed. Now, of course, Arsenal have won away at Spurs for the 1955. Here's the manager who's led them to it, Mikel Arteta.
Mikel, congratulations. That's a particularly dominant second half, I thought.
And the first one, I think even more probably, and the result probably should have been very different. So really happy, really proud about the way we approached the game, the initiative, the composure that we showed, and the quality, of course. So it's never easy to come here and win the game, and in the manner that we've done it, I think the boys deserve a lot of credit.
Over the last 24, 36 hours or something, you sort of felt that people were sensing a weakness. I mean, you'd think Arsenal had fallen apart rather than just, had one adverse result, but you really showed a lot of character today and quality, obviously.
That's the beauty of football. When you look back the game against Wolves, how the hell you draw a game there, it's just impossible to explain. There are no words to explain how this happened, but it happened, and you have to leave yourself out from the floor because you can feel sorry for yourself. But the reaction of the boys immediately was extraordinary, and I'm not surprised what they've done today because I'm with them every day and I know how much they want it.
I have to say, I don't think I've seen Victor Gyökeres play better in an Arsenal jersey.
He was outstanding today, I thought. And he's been glimpses of that in the last few weeks, but today I think his overall performance was incredible.
And obviously, Eze gets a couple of goals as well after his hat-trick back in November. That's extraordinary, isn't it? 5 goals against Tottenham in one season. They'll be building a statue.
That's unbelievable. But, yeah, he had that in his recent memory probably, and he had that belief, and I'm really happy with him because he's really trying to mold and adapt to the way that we want to play, and we are trying to do the same for him, and I think today he had a really good game.
If it goes all the way to the end of the season, and it might, you look like a side who are up for that challenge.
I mean, we know this is the Premier League. He's going to go all the way till the end, that's for sure. 10 games in the Premier League is a long marathon. You can see where teams are winning, where teams are not dropping points just in the last second for millimetres. These are the margins.
They certainly are the margins, and for Gyökeres, they're the margins as well, because we mentioned his hat-trick in the first 4-1 win on his North London derby debut, but look at his form and his opportunities actually in the 15 Premier League games since. He only started 4 of them, came on in 7, didn't appear in 4 at all. He's only played an average of 33 minutes per game since scoring a hat-trick against Spurs, and then pops up and scores twice on his recall. I mean, it's an amazing story, really, isn't it?
It is. Talk about a big game player.
But there's a huge frustration in there personally for him.
Absolutely, but look at the competition that Arsenal have got in those positions. It's quite staggering how good some of the players are. And we spoke again before the game about players that have got a good record against a certain team. He scored a hat-trick earlier on in the season. That had to be in Mikel Arteta's brain, in his mind when he was picking the team today. There's other players on that bench that got the credentials to start in a huge game like today, but we've been there before, haven't we? You play against a team, you score a few goals, you feel as if you're going to do it all the time.
Yeah, that's actually true. When you have a chance to score against one team that's sitting home and away, then every season became a routine. It's something that you keep repeating, and that's why you see some players, they score, 20 goals against a team during their career, and that's, I'm pretty sure, if they play 10 games against Tottenham, he will be the top goal scorer in this North London derby for sure.
But why in those 15 games in between the 2 derbies, Tim, has the manager not trusted him to start virtually none of them?
No idea. I mean, Noddy's played well. Madueke has done really well. Odegaard's got back to fitness, and I think even today when he comes on, he's such a leader. He comes on the pitch and the intensity of the press, and he makes a goal for Eze as well. I just think he's a good player. I think he needs to be more consistent, Eze. I think it was good management today by putting him in. I mentioned it at the start. It's exactly what I would have done, because he was probably, if it's not Arsenal today, he don't play. If it's not Tottenham today, he does not play in that fixture.
And that graphic proves it, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, because he's not warranted it. He's not done enough.
And I also think no matter what we sit here, you have to look into during the week. How was he training also? Because when we are going towards some game, you can see some players in training, they are different. because that's their game. You can just tell and feel it in training that this game you can play. Obviously, if Arteta didn't play him for so long and put him today and he's scoring 2 goals, which means Arteta is doing the right thing.
Yeah.
Don't get it twisted, because if you are doing quite well in training, then you can just tell that, okay, this player is ready for this weekend game. I will put him in no matter what, because what he's showing in training. We were watching the warm-up. He was scoring some goals at the warm-up. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
With him, we were laughing. I have never scored goals like that, even in a game during my career. But he was scoring those goals during warm-up. So you can just tell he was made for today's game and he was ready for it.
And let's not forget, Steve, he was at Tottenham.
Yeah.
He was in a white shirt. Everyone went to bed as Tottenham persuasion, thinking that Eze's going to sign the next day, and he turns up at the Emirates in a red shirt, and he's done that to him on 2 occasions now. Heartbreaking.
Indeed. And let's also not forget that prior to this derby, Manchester City asked a huge question of Arsenal in terms of the title race, because they got over the line at home to Newcastle, Tim, and you saw at the end of this game what it meant to Pep Guardiola.
Yeah, I mean, O'Reilly, what a smash that is. I mean, this boy plays anywhere. What a player, what a find. It's so important you get academy boys through. And after the game, you're absolutely right. I've never seen Pep celebrate like that. It was significant. The fixture was, and the result was... I mean, Newcastle just kept coming, because Semenyo played Marmoush and Haaland, and he left them up the field for a lot of the time.
And Haaland with the assist.
He was yeah, and O'Reilly again. I mean, he's 6'3". The boy's got everything, hasn't he? You know, he arrives in at the right time. But the celebrations just something I've not seen this early on in the season, both from his players and from Pep himself. It was incredible, and I think it was significant.
I wonder if that's a message. You know, a lot of the time in your career, sometimes a manager might just say, do you know what, if we win, so that might have been natural, don't get me wrong, but sometimes you'll just say, do you know what, let's have an extra little celebration. Let's, you know, show somebody that we're challenging him.
Those are the things for sure Pep Guardiola would do, because obviously we all knew that Newcastle is coming out from Champions League where they won 5-6-0, 6-1. So the confidence was big, so he wanted to send a message out, and the message was quite sent properly.
So, as we can see, match week 33, we know that huge game at the Etihad. They're the fixtures both of them have got prior to that. They both actually have to play Chelsea in that period. How do you see this title race between your 2 former clubs now?
Obviously, as I said again, I think I'm going to rely more on experience. Obviously, when it comes to experience, the manager has won it a couple of times already. If not 4 or 5 times in the Premier League, and he has the players that have it, and he adds some more fresh air into the team, like Semenyo, like some few players, and I think when it comes to experience, I will give it to them. Obviously, Arsenal, what they show today, they show character, they show personality, but can they do that for the next 10 games? I don't think so. But if you ask me what they have done, what Man City have done against Newcastle yesterday, can they do it for the rest of the season? I would definitely tell you yes.
Interesting.
So for me, yeah.
How big a statement was that from Arsenal today, though, under that pressure?
Absolutely. On the back of a little wobble over the last few weeks, certainly against Wolves when they were 2-0 up, to come to the Lions' den was a big challenge for them. They calmed the crowd down. They got an early goal. Professional performance. I thought they were a different class.
OK, now the King of Togo needs to retire to his throne because he's been on those very talented feet for so long. So
At the Emirates, he just loves scoring against Tottenham for Arsenal.
Yeah, fantastic. I thought it was amazing, because when he got the hat-trick early in the season, you felt this is going to go from strength to strength, and then things didn't go to plan. You know, after that game, he didn't have one shot on target up until today, but he's found his confidence, and this is what can happen in football. Things can change. You know, get yourself in a really good position here, just gets off the back of Colomwani, improvises really well, because that ball comes up high, and he has to make sure that he gets his leg up, keeps that ball down. You can see him just drifting here. Colomwani has to pick him up. He doesn't. He lets him go. Good first touch, pops up, and then he just manages to get on top of it, and it's a really, really good finish. You can see Dragosan can't do anything about it. Then the confidence starts to ooze out of him, Theo, doesn't it?
It does as well. It does well to get his leg up that high as well, but it just shows not many players will be able to do that. But this is what we want to see more of, Eze smiling, and that's when he plays at his best, the energy.
But it's hard to smile when you're not getting picked and you're sat on the bench and the manager's not trusting you, isn't
exactly,
it?
but you can see how much it meant, not just to him, but to his teammates. I think it's really important to show away from the football how important he is in that role as well. But yeah, I was so pleased for him.
But
I
you
think
have not had a shot.
he could have been playing for Tottenham, Kelly.
Well, that was the link in the
that's the
summer
thing.
when Arsenal were also interested in him, and obviously ends up going to Arsenal. But hadn't had a shot on target, as you say, between the hat-trick against Tottenham and then scoring his opening goal today. It has been difficult for him, and it does work for him against Tottenham. Is it as much about what he doesn't have to do against Spurs as it is about what he can bring to the game?
I think what he needs to bring to the game is just be effective in the right areas, and it's trying to get him in those right areas. But at times, I felt watching him previously, you just want to shake him, like just wake up a little bit at times, maybe, if I'm being too harsh on him. But look, I just feel he's so gifted in spaces where you can't control him, and I think that was what he was missing. And to not have any shots, he'd know that, and he'd know why he wasn't been playing. But look, he just shows now, look, you can trust me, you can believe me in these big arenas like this as well. And I think he's repaid the manager's faith today. I really do. I think that's important.
He's such a smooth player to watch as well, Kelly. You know, he's always... And today, the way that Tottenham's midfield went man for man against them, he was finding a little bit of space. He would work off of Basuma, who was marking him, and he'd be the first one to create those problems. And the link-up today with him and Gyökeres was brilliant. It was really good. It was telepathic at times. And you can see that love. I mean, I'm not sure how we felt. Gets two goals, comes off. We probably think I can get another hat-trick here. But no, absolutely brilliant for him. And, he's a very nice young man. He's, and it's, as I say, hasn't always got the plan, but it's good to see that smile back on his face.
Amidst all the euphoria of him scoring the opening goal in this game, Declan Rice gathered the players around and kind of gave them a little bit of a pep talk. He walked off and he was pointing to his temples and saying, make sure you focus, make sure you're concentrating here. And then it was a rare mistake from him that led to the equaliser just 24 seconds after the restart.
Well, what you didn't want this to be, Kelly, was some kind of meme, like whatever happened to Steven Gerrard many years ago when when he's talking to Liverpool players about we've got to make sure no mistakes, we go again, etc. He does that and then he does this. And it's uncharacteristic from him, but it's not his game, that. I don't see really where Declan is going to... What he's trying to gain. I love Declan as a footballer, but that's not his thing, like doing little Iniesta skills. Keeps it simple. Don't try anything that's too difficult. Keep it, relatively basic, if you like. And then he obviously doesn't. But Colomwani does amazing after that. Really aggressive, gets into the box. You can see there, he's now thinking, please, 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 let's get this win. Let's get this 3 points. I don't want this to be on me at the end of the season. But he's a sort of character that doesn't let him get to him as well, Theo, isn't he?
Absolutely. I mean, as well, you even look at it there. Look, the actual goal itself, brilliant. Maybe Raya could use his feet. I'm always, questioning it. Maybe it's a bit too close to the keeper's feet. I think David De Gea was one of the best at doing it. But look, it was just out of character from Declan Rice, and he's a leader by example. And I always see him as the captain here. I really do. And that was definitely out of character.
I mean, Theo was talking about Gyökeres a little bit earlier and how important a game this was for him. And Gary Neville was saying in commentary, he's a big, strong, physical player, and he should be making his presence felt.
Absolutely. I love this pass from Jurrien Timber. It's such an intelligent pass into a really good area. It doesn't go to Eze, it could go to Gyökeres. And again, Theo, you were right. Look, he's making sure that he doesn't go to Dragosan. He'll pull onto Paulina, where he might get a bit of space. Lovely soft touch and a great finish.
And this is where players, after training, they practice this finish. And you always look at it in the stands thinking, why are they practicing this finish? It's because they don't have to think about this finish, because they know where they are on the pitch. You don't need, as long as the first touch is perfect, it sets him, and he knows what he's doing. I think that's exactly the finish that he would do every training session, week after week, and not just himself. I think all of them, they always have competitions there. So it's like who's going to be the last one standing, and he always tends to be the last one standing because he's that good.
And you talked about that relationship between Gyökeres and Eze, and they linked up for Arsenal's third goal.
They did link up really well, and it's just his presence. And like I said before, he dominated Dragosan today, and that little subtle touch which you wouldn't have seen and just created that space. And it's not a simple finish because you've got to adjust yourself as well. But look, this is
Basuma's
what
got to do better here. Watch his feel. Look at Basuma. He's a defensive midfield player. He's on his heels. He gets caught out, and then obviously he doesn't react after.
But that's the side of Eze as well. You've got to recognise where maybe he might have switched off in the past, but he's recognised his danger. There's a chance to actually break it and get a goal, which obviously it ended up being that. But fantastic finish in the end, and it was could have been a lot more if they really wanted it to be as well. I felt tonight.
Well, it could have been a lot more, but also it's possible. And I always love this ref cam. I know we're supposed to see it for the major incidents in the game, but I love it for that behind the player shot.
And he kept up with it. The referee kept up with it as play as well. It's one of those we can see them if they're actually keeping up with play. So brilliant. Love that view.
Great shot of that. Arsenal go 3-1 up. As Theo was saying, it could have been more. But it was also possible that Spurs could have cut the deficit back. And David Raya with a really important save, particularly after what happened in midweek, Jamie.
Kel, this is the game right here, because I honestly looked at 84 minutes on the clock. I think there was 6 or 7 minutes as well. And Arsenal would absolutely, no doubt, if that goes in, got nervy. You know, we've seen it against Manchester City a few weeks ago where they were in a similar sort of predicament. They weren't necessarily playing well, Tottenham, they got some out of the game. That is unbelievable. The reactions, look at him there, you can hardly see where it goes for his legs. I mean, like you say, they'll be practising that. You talk about strikers, what they practice every day. David Raya were doing that, and I've got no doubt you can see that how the reaction of all of his players, Zubimendi, Gabriel, Saliba, they know that was a massive moment because they didn't want to have to take the next 10 minutes of the game with extra time having to deal with that pressure. So a big, big moment for them, and you can see how you can see the Spurs fans as well there.
I don't think they could believe their eyes as why that ball hadn't crossed the line. But David Raya with a fantastic save there, and another big goal, as we said, for Gyökeres, and what was an important game for him, which meant that Arsenal got their biggest away win at Tottenham since 1978.
There we go, and this is what we expected from Gyökeres when you signed. These are the kind of, you know, his eyes light up, and of course he's always going to believe anyone in that position there. But you know, every time you see a scene of Gyökeres scoring his goals in Portugal last year, this was it. This is exactly it. But what I really liked as well was it's just the energy levels of when they want to win the ball. They didn't look to hold on to the ball. They just played to his strengths today, and I think that's when you're going to get the best out of Gyökeres. At times, I felt he was making runs and maybe not making runs at times. But look, brilliant finish, very confident right now, and that's what they're going to need going into the last 11 games of the season, someone who's firing at all cylinders, and he's certainly doing it today.
And the other thing is as well, Theo, for a manager, he's having to make some big calls today. You know, he plays Eze, leaves out Odegaard. Odegaard comes onto the pitch, gets that really important assist. You know, Madueke as well with an important touch. But it was brilliant from him. You know, I think you're spot on. He gets that ball safe side. It's like difficult for Archie Gray because you're trying to prove you don't want to foul him to give away a penalty. And you can see those shots there. That's what it means to the Arsenal players. They know after it's been a tough week or so, what a big thing.
And we saw earlier, that's 10 Premier League goals for him, making him Arsenal's top scorer. Kai Havertz with 9 last season. Half of those goals for Gyökeres have come in the last 22 days, which is no bad thing as they head into the last 10.
Actually, you've not had too many days to work with the players. Given that context, what did you make of that performance?
No, I'm sad because it was not good enough. Arsenal was much better. In this moment was too much gap between two teams. In this, I would say, psychophysic situation, even regarding the problems we had to make 11 plus 3. So it's good to show and to see this kind of team, you know, in the start to show us where we need to be. So it's all about work, start to work hard because we struggle in a lot of things. For sure, psychologically we need to come up from this moment. The only way is to work. Stay quiet, stay humble, understand where we are now, and look at in the future. You know, day by day, growing day by day, week by week. It's too strong for us in this moment.
So what's the biggest thing you've learnt from what you've seen from your team today? The biggest thing you've learnt from seeing your team close up today?
That we need to work. Too much bad habits in the past time. Each of us, each of part of the team, we need to look ourselves and grow. Be humble, as I said before, and it's all about work. So we need to run more. We need to play better. We need to defend it better. We need to win duels. They can do a second balls. So we prepare these 4 or 5 days. But as I said before, in this moment they were faster. There was even I can say that the players wanted. They showed the passion. They wanted to do. They wanted to run. But we press high. They don't arrive or take the ball in a block. They are stronger. They have more power, more energy, you know, they believe more. Also, that's the key in the end. They believe more, and that's it.
Igor Tudor's reaction to today. What do you think he might have learned in his first competitive game, Tim?
It's going to be more difficult than maybe he had imagined. I think his job is to keep them in the Premier League. I think he will achieve that. One thing is very positive, that not all the teams are as good as Arsenal. So he's placed away at Fulham, which they're capable of beating, even with the injuries what they have. They should be able to perform better there. At home to Palace, which is a must-win game. If they wasn't to win them, it's unthinkable. If they don't get anything out of them 2 games, I mean, they really are in a dogfight. Then I think he knows how difficult the task is going to be now. I think he's absolutely spot on. They were too good. They were too good for Tottenham, unfortunately. But I played in a lot of these derbies where against the opposition who were too good and we still get results. There is a way to find a result, but today they couldn't find that formula.
In the second half, what was the difference?
There's a big difference in quality, to be honest. Even
just that from a Spurs point of view?
I think in derbies you're gonna work hard. I thought all players go out and you work hard, and you have to in a game like this and try and get the fans up. But at some stage you have to have a spell with the ball and show a little bit of quality.
Yeah.
Even with the build-up, I don't know what they're trying to do with the build to try and. If you're doing it, you want to try and get out. So Arsenal running back towards their own goal, weren't happening. You try to be aggressive at times, but when you get aggressive, then you have to make contact, not making contact, and Arsenal just getting through. So there's loads of things. The manager alluded to it, to be honest. There's a lot of bad habits, but I just feel like there was a big difference in quality.
And those habits, has he got time with his new system on the training field to change them?
The only thing I can take out of this game positivity is like when they start the game, the first 10-15 minutes, you can see how they refuse to give up. And you can tell the first 15 minutes was for Arsenal. They're pressing them, they're playing quite well, they're moving the ball from left to right. And Tottenham stay at the back and they defend quite well. You see the way they defend on the set pieces is just unbelievable. And I have a chance to have a little chat with Mohamed Kudus. He said with this manager, the mentality is already changing. The way we defend is different. You can see everyone, Bissouma trying to run everywhere and trying to defend as high as possible. Obviously, don't get it twisted. There is not a lot of team like Arsenal in this league. So for me, when they will go to, without disrespecting anyone, when they will have a chance to go to maybe Fulham, maybe Birmingham, maybe, I don't know, Everton, it's not going to be the same opponent as Arsenal. With the quality they have up front, it was very difficult for them, but they hang in there, they do their job properly in the first. Second half, as he said, Germany, it was difficult to see the quality of Arsenal in the second half. They couldn't follow. No matter how you want to help, no matter how you are motivated to give everything that you have. At some point, we are human beings. It's blood that we have in our vein. You can't just run anymore. And that's what happened today in the second half.
It's more than just running. He mentioned there, running. When he come in, he said, we need to run more. There's certain kilometres. He's got his eye on that. He's come to the right place if he just wants runners. But Jermaine's absolutely right. You need quality as well. You need them strikers. You've got enough strikers there. I mean, he's brought off... What's he brought on the pitch? Solanke and Richarlison. You're talking about £140 million worth of strikers coming off the bench. And they never even started the game. Kolo Muani started. Yeah. But where are they creating the chances? Where's the guile? Where's that? Look, he needs to find 3 results, 3 wins, and they stay in the league, and then his job is done. But I'm afraid, I've said it when he come in here, you're not going to get any pats on the back for finishing 12th at Tottenham. I mean, it's 12th for Tottenham. And that's if he does a good run between now and the end of the season. Very, very good. And can you see him winning the Champions League? I mean, no, is the answer.
I was going to answer for you then, but then you delayed it. Yeah, we all agree. We're all going to say that. No, I mean, the guys are right. You can't play top-flight football and just defend and just run and just be hard to beat. I mean, you've got to have at some point a little bit of quality in your team to keep the ball, to create chances. Have you just sit on the edge of your box all game and defend, you'll never get anything in this league. So they've got a lot to work on. I did think that the crowd were, obviously, it's a derby. I thought they were with the team today.
Yeah.
I thought, Spurs did put a shift in. I think they did cover the ground. I think they did want it. They were just totally outclassed. That sometimes can happen. However, there will be calmer waters, and they need to pick up points and pick them up, because all of a sudden they're looking over their shoulder. They're only 4 points clear of West Ham now, who are playing really well. Crystal Palace got a good result today. Teams around them are starting to pick up points. So the R word, I don't want to say it too loud around here, but it's about to be spoken.
What about the M word, mentality then? Do you see enough in the players that are fit enough to try and help Igor Tudor in this situation? Particularly here, like Michael says, I know it was a derby, but there was a different atmosphere to what had been at home so far this season for Tottenham.
They're going to have to create it going forward, because obviously in a derby, he was going to get atmosphere like this, but maybe the other games, maybe you're not going to get the same atmosphere, so the players have to try and create it. And when we talk about working hard, the reason why you run around is to get the ball back. Then you get the ball back, then what do you do with it? But I feel like today you saw an Arsenal team in the first half, they pin you back and they sort of like suffocate you, and they go side to side and they pick their moments, then they go mix up, then they get across. So they mix it up, but then you get the ball back. Tottenham have got to do the same at some stage. You have to do the same. You have to put your moment through. Like, you've got to get into like a structure and a little bit of rhythm. If you're not seeing no rhythm and you're getting the ball back, you're turning it over, you're getting the ball back, it becomes difficult. That's the quality I'm talking about. And you didn't see that. So it is going to be hard, but the players have no choice. You have to find something, because at the end of the day, when the games are running out and then teams in and around you are getting results, then, especially if you've not been in this situation before, it becomes really difficult.
Interesting. Listen, we don't need reminding of your popularity around here, so we have to say goodbye to you. But as always, good to see you, my friend.
Cheers.
Jermaine Defoe has other places to be. We have to get some